All right, hi, I'm Drew. The company that I work for is Premier IT. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about us. So the agenda, is he cool or lame? Who is Premier IT and what is their story? What does managed services mean? Because a lot of times when I talk to people, they have no idea what that means. What kind of problems do we solve? Some quick tips that hopefully should help you and you should implement if you don't have them implemented. And then some good referral partners. All right, so I grew up in Woodbury. I went to the University of Minnesota Duluth. I'm a huge hockey fan. I also love racing, but I didn't put that up there. I've drove a race car on a race car track, which is really cool. That's me with the national championship trophy. I was actually at the game when we won in St. Paul, which was super fun and super cool. I love the Renaissance Festival. I love getting dressed up for it.
Me too. I'm always a pirate.
Okay. I did Viking. I did Viking this year, and then we also went on Oktoberfest, so I had like lederhosen as well. I love Amy and Kim. They're both really fun to be around. And then I'm also a huge Scooby-Doo fan, and I got a puppy last fall named Roy, golden retriever. And now this is a picture of him as he's gotten a little bit older. He is about to be 8 months, and he's already 65 pounds.
Who are you supposed to be over there in the ring?
Shaggy.
Shaggy.
Shaggy and Velma. All right, so who is Premier IT? So Alan Altpeter, he started the company back in 2018. He actually started it out of his basement. He was working for a different company. They were a small managed service provider, and they stopped paying him because the owner was mismanaging the company, and he wanted to make sure that they still had good service. Unfortunately, the guy just couldn't, back pay him. So he's like, I'm just gonna start my own company, take the 3 best clients, and started out of his basement. His first hire was his brother Brad, and then he hired another guy who was in this picture. His name's Tom, and then Tor is my sales director, and now we've grown since then. We're out of Maple Grove. We just expanded into a new, we had an office, then we grew our office because now we're up to 13 people on our way. I think we're in the process of hiring a 14th employee. We have over 40 years of IT experience between the teams, so we can solve almost every IT problem that you can possibly think of. The industries that we work in, mainly manufacturing, healthcare, personal services, law firms, accounting, people who deal with personal information, financial advisors, and then independent insurance agencies. We also work in a bunch of trades as well. And our floor for helping, we just implemented this year, is 5 people or more. If we do less than 5 people, we just don't make the money that we need to make. Our sweet spot is companies between 15 and 50 people. And sometimes they have an IT person on staff and we are a supplement. Sometimes we are their IT staff. It just kind of depends on what what our clients' needs are. You can go to the next slide. All right, so what does managed services mean? So managed services means that we come in and we take care of all your IT problems, right? If you need a password reset, if you need help with your computer not running, there's so many different IT problems. And what managed services does is it just brings it back up to the status quo. That's what we like to call it. So if something breaks on your network, whether it be a firewall or whatever, printer, we have so many printer issues. Everybody's had a printer issue. And we come out and we fix it, and we take care of it. It's not charged. If we do additional projects, we do charge for that, but this package covers everything that brings it back up to quality. And basically what we act as your fractional IT department, because a lot of times smaller companies, they don't have the resource to hire a full-time IT person, and so we have a full IT staff, and which means that sometimes when people hire solo IT guys, a great example of that is Tony. great guy to work with. We've done some help for him when he's been sick, or sometimes he actually goes on vacation, because sometimes people need breaks. The way we staff is that somebody's always in the building 5 days a week, so we can respond to any IT problem. You can go to the next one. And so what makes us different? What makes us different is that our response time is less than 2 hours. Most of the time it's instantaneous. We like to say, you call, we answer, because 98% of the time somebody will pick up the phone call when you call, or if it's an email, we have somebody always like in our email inbox waiting to resolve problems. And then also, like I said, we are staffed in a way that we have 8 technicians or engineers on staff, so we don't escalate problems. We don't have a help desk that only can do, password resets and basic stuff. We hire above, and then that way you don't have to be escalated to the next problem. So we can just jump right in and solve the problem, because no one likes to have an issue and then have it be escalated and have to worry about, waiting on things. Normally when you have an IT problem, you need it fixed right away. And yep, you can go on to the next one. Additional things that we do, penetration testing. When I talk about that, a lot of people laugh, but it's actually a really serious thing. If you have a hole in your network and it can, a hacker gets in, they can put something like ransomware on, or they lock you out of your environment, they can steal all your data. It's really, really bad. And small business owners who, most of you are, spend your entire lives building these businesses, and ransomware, they can lock you out of all your data and you're kind of fucked. There's really nothing that you can do to get your stuff back unless you either pay the ransom or start from scratch. Thank goodness cyber insurance is a thing, and actually we've had a couple clients over this past year that have used their cyber insurance, and what they did was they just started from scratch. Cyber insurance paid out like $1 million policy, and they got all new hardware and then paid for our time to come in and reset everything up from scratch. It's a freaking headache. You lose a lot of stuff, and it's really sad, and people get desperate. I mean, I would guess that every one of you works on a computer, and if you don't have your computer to enter stuff, you're most likely, dead on arrival. So another one, we can run low voltage wire. We can set up cameras. We can do door access, cloud hosting, camera setup. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Basically anything technology related we can help you out with. And then 3 things that I would love for you guys to implement if you don't have them implemented. 1, please don't put your password on a freaking Post-it note. Kim?
He said,
It's literally on her computer right now, so I can hack into her computer and take all of her stuff. So put it in a password manager. They're $35 a year for a password manager, which means I can't even tell you the amount of people that I've gotten. I've gotten at least 10 phone calls since I've been in NIA from people calling me because their social media got hacked, or their bank account got hacked. Password managers, Keeper, LastPass, what was the other one that I have up there? NordPass. All these things, they're not very expensive. But if somebody gets into your bank account and transfers all your money, it's a nightmare. If you pay $35 a year, all you have to remember is one long password. You can put that one on a Post-it note, put it in a safe, and then if you forget it, you go in your safe, fireproof safe preferably. But then you don't ever have to worry about it.
Don't put your safe combination on the refrigerator.
Yes, don't do that.
Which password manager would you recommend?
I use Keeper. It's really, really easy. Like I said, it's $35 a year. I just budget it in.
This is old school now. Is that an app?
Yes, and it goes on everything. Like you can go on it's a computer browser app. Yes?
What would you say about having a password manager versus utilizing the Apple password or the Google Pay or, all that?
Right, so Google has done a pretty good job. Sometimes Google drops the ball. It's free, which is nice, but there are issues with it. For example, then Google has all your stuff. With Keeper, the company of Keeper doesn't even have your stuff. Only you have access to this vault. That's what they call it, is a vault. And you log in, you have access to all your passwords. They don't have access to it. Whereas Google, they have access to all your passwords if they really want to. So if Google has an issue, then people can lose their passwords and stuff. All right, and next thing, there's one more thing, and
You want to talk about QR codes?
oh yeah, and don't scan random QR codes. That should be self-explanatory because people hack stuff all the time. All right, so I wanted to put this up here because length of passwords actually really matters nowadays. Because if you don't so for example, right, 9 characters, you only use lowercase or numbers. They can hack it instantly. There's things called supercomputers. They're actually real. It's not a thing that's just over here, not real. It's actually real. And it's pretty easy to hack passwords. So make sure, and the one thing I love about Keeper is they'll actually create a long password for you. You can just hit randomize, and then they'll put it underneath whatever browser it is. So if it's a bank account or whatever, you can just randomize it, and then they'll have it in there, and then you can just copy and paste. But yeah, just make sure your passwords are longer. Use letters and characters. And don't use personal information. Just pick a couple random words. So, and then a couple of really good referral partners, cyber insurance, Comcast reps, property managers, copy and printer companies who don't do managed IT services.
Expand on the Comcast reps.
Comcast business reps. Yeah, Comcast business reps. So.
You know, there are other business reps like that.
Yeah, there's like Lumen and just basically business internet reps can be a really good referral partner.
I'm not sure if like Xfinity and some of the others have.
No, so that's personal. Is Xfinity? Yeah.
All right.
And then
We
yeah.
gotta move on. We're already